Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Friday morning. It is a beautiful Friday for those of you who are not here in St. Kitts or Nevis and you're in the diaspora in those countries that you're still having snow and hail and earthquakes and all of those natural disasters. You gave up your rights to be here. Those of you who are seeking green card and citizenship in another man's country, you gave up that right to be here. So all of our natural beauty that we possess and all of these natural things that we can ingest on a daily basis or we can appreciate on a daily basis, that is all right because we withstood the test of time. And so therefore, in the long run, you're going to reap exactly what you sow. You're in tune to WINN FM 98.9. My name is Sandra Quilly-Atherton. Your Views is a program that is aired on WINN FM every Friday morning at 10 o'clock. It's a program where we try to make sure that we bring facts, information that will be beneficial to you, people who are looking and searching for eternal life. Look within yourself. It's just making the right choices and doing the right thing and changing your focus. That is what makes the big difference. And when you can do that, then the world is your platform. Earth is what was intended for man, and you can reap every benefit that was intended. Get away from all this negativity. We live in a world that is very toxic. The environment is killing Earth. You recognize we have all these extensive earthquakes and we have all of these weather patterns that are not normal, breaking records all over the place. It is because Earth has become so toxic. That happens because the energy that we have there is not, it's the air that we're breathing is soon would be compromised because scientists will tell you the carbon content is getting too high. We have destroyed our own habitat. So what is man? If you can destroy your source of life, then you ask yourself the question, what is man? So for me, when I would have had that understanding that man just doesn't seem to understand who they are, from whence they came and where they want to go, and they're still living in a life of chaos and confusion, then I know definitely I don't want to be on that path, so I seek otherwise. With me this morning, I have a herbalist, natural healer, a person who would have recognized the importance of preserving his environment and his habitat and his body, which is the temple of Jah Rastafari. And because everybody don't know that, the Bible that you read says that the kingdom of God is within you. And so in order for you to make sure that the Heavenly Father or Jah Rastafari, the creator of this universe, lives within you, you have to make sure that temple is clean. Otherwise, you're creating a toxic environment which you would not reap the benefits, because when you have positive entity living in a negative environment, definitely would not operate. So these are the things that we have to take into consideration, that our lives are in our hands. We decide whether or not we make it or we break it. We're the ones who decide whether we're going to have eternal life or we're going to die at an early age or we're going to live a life of misery. The choice is yours. And every time you hear people talk about affirmations, the I am affirmation, it tells you that I am, which is the great I am that lives within you. I am is great. I am great. I am prosperous. I am positive. I am beautiful. I am. You have to make those affirmations at mornings and change your focus every day. It takes some time for it to happen, but practice and practice and practice, and definitely it will happen. I'm talking to you and I'm processing your name, Lutan, Jalutan. That's the reason why I'm going on, because Jalutan. I have Jalutan here with us this morning. I have recognized. See, when I decide who's going to come on the show, I look at what is happening around us. And I find that we are already in a toxic environment, and you can't bring toxic topics. You have to bring topics that's going to change the focus. Think we have been in a web of politics all of my life. It doesn't matter who changed or who's in there. We have that same political poison that poisons our body, get you caught up hatred. You listen to the talk shows and you hear it. People are not willing to change. You're talking about change, but you are not changing. And that is one of the big problems. So now We are talking about how to preserve, how to help those who are seriously stressed out because they're so caught up in the politics. We're going to talk about how to help those who are so caught up in the politics, cleanse the need, not just body cleanse, but mental cleansing and a way to change your focus, your mind, and get into that positive realm where we can our little contribution of positivity can definitely save the whole world. It's as simple as that. One stone makes a big ripple. And that is, people said, oh, no, no, one little change can create big effects. And these are things that we have to understand. Luzanne, welcome again to WINN FM and to your views. I've looked after you. I've followed you. I've tested your products. And I am impressed. And that is one of the reasons why I brought you on my show, because I know it's so unfair that I can reap all of those benefits. And there are people out there who have similar issues who can benefit, but they don't know about you. And exposure is good. And I believe that we have to push all locals because people are calling to the Jamaicans. You can call to Jamaican, you could call to Grenada, to Dr. Delft, you could call to St. Thomas, and you can find all of those people who do the same thing like you're doing, but nobody is looking at the fact that it is right here and the herbs are the same thing. What do you do?
First, I will give thanks for life, because life is the greatest gift, Well, Emmanuel, I, Selassie, I, Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, man, love, Start with self-love. One have to love themselves, And when we say love themselves, it starts within, We have to appreciate our gift of life, and also appreciate what is around us, So when you start with love and appreciation, you're going to feel gratitude, So then you're going to cherish what is around us, what we already have, not what we ain't have. Most people tend to look for what they ain't have and look down on what they have. We have the gift of life, and natural herbs around us, that give us oxygen and we breathe our carbon. So we and the plants are one. So we have to look, we and the plants share the same genetics, As the book, the Bible stated that, Jah give us all herb bearing and the leaf of the trees for us as medicine. So why don't we look at that and start, appreciate the green and stop look at it at just wild herbs and as a nuisance to us, but let us look at our natural resources as a gift, as a life, because life is a gift. So then you use the natural products that around we, it is for free, They're right here around us. So let us utilize that, the sunshine, the air, as I said, self-love and appreciation, We have to start the day with positive energy, positive vibes, chase away the negative because, as I say, we live in a toxic world because of toxic people and not recognizing that nature is we and we are nature. And if we destroy nature, we destroy ourselves.
Okay, well, you see, and that is one of the things that it's the attention that you need to bring back. I remember growing up in my time, and I was born in Nevis. I was Newcastle to be exact. We had a clinic. The hospital was in town, and but I've never ever been, hospitalized then because I never saw a doctor up to when I was 16 years old, because then my parents used to use all of the natural remedy. You wake up in the morning, you're not feeling well, never had an understanding of what it was. You got up in the morning, you're not feeling well, you're showing signs that you're getting a cold. Cold for me used to last for one day. You got the symptoms and that is it. Because what she would do, she would boil some bush, she'd give you the tea, put you on the stone in the yard to sit down so that you could get the early sunshine.
Yes.
Never understood that. Now that I'm grown, I realize, we thought it was, the stupid thing that they're doing. But you got better right away. It was immediate because you stopped what it was from happening. And so that was one of the vitamin D. Now you realize that it is not just a vitamin, but it's a hormone. It helps to build your
Yes,
immunity.
yes.
And that's, you have that understanding. The bush, the oregano, the lime bush tea, the soursop bush that people are killing themselves over now, people now recognizing that it was good for cancer. Those are the things that we grew up on. And so when I tell you, when you got measles, they gave you the rice water to drink, and the next day you feel good. I think you felt good because you didn't want to drink any more rice water, awful tasting. And those are the little things that we did growing up. We lived off the land because fruits were seasonal. I remember going to school, you walk with a bottle, there was some black cherry, came in season. When the black cherry is not there, then the mango is there, or the gut plums are there, or the penny slash is there. I mean, these are all the fruits that we grew up on. So we didn't have to go to the supermarket and buy fruits. These were fresh fruits, the guavas, the tangerines, the shaddocks. Those are the things that we grew up on, and it was an everyday thing. So every day you were getting your source of food. The prickly pear has this little fruit on it. We used to just use that, crush it up, put it on our lips. We used to call it rouge then, lipsticks. And those are the things that but now you can't afford to buy it.
Yeah.
The nopal is very expensive.
Yes.
And they find it,
cancer.
Yeah, now you find out the health benefits of it. You want to buy soursop bush in the States, you know, money you have to pay for that? These are things that we have at our disposal.
Yes.
And we don't use them. And we're getting sicker and sicker because what? The only food my mother used to go to town to buy was sugar, rice, and flour. And rice was our Sunday meal. During the weekdays, it was ground provision. You had dry food. You had the you had the mashed breadfruit, mashed green fig, and then you had, when you're not having that, then you're going to have soup. Soup was twice per week. And those were the things. And the only thing, then you had your yard fowl. These are fowls that you raise yourself, so you know they were not injected with anything. And then you ask yourself the question, how come we were not getting sick then? Because we were eating right then. How come so many people are getting sick now?
As I say, long time ago, our elders used to give us the bush tea first thing at morning. Not Capri Sun, not Kool-Aid, you know, not these artificial flavors and high concentrated juice early in the morning. We used to drink bush tea. We used to get the medicine early. So our immune system used to be up, you know, and the sunshine. Right now, a lot of people don't want to be in the sun too long, and they understand cancer is a vitamin D deficiency.
Exactly.
You know, vitamin D important, and we as a skin color is much darker as black people. We absorb sun slower, so we have to be in the sun at a longer period of time. You know, and a lot of we don't utilize the fruits that are around we, now the herbs. Guava. Sometimes I see guava up and down and children passing guava, soursop, you know, and like you ask yourself, what going on? You know? Children have to be edified, the people have to be edified and know say, well, the fruits them give them vitamin. They don't have to go shop, go spend the money on vitamin C, synthetic vitamin C, you know. Guava give vitamin C, soursop give vitamin C. And vitamin C is antioxidant. These are how the things that fight against free radical and inflammation and bacteria from the body. You know, so if we consume more natural, you know, foods and vegetation, we eat from the land, we preserve the land and we eat from the land, we're gonna stand a better chance of living more healthy life. You know. People become more sick in this time because they tend to stray from nature, you know. They live more toxic, meaning they look at television and they look at what they see on the television and feel, say, okay, I'm accustomed to guava, I'm accustomed to banana. I see these every day. But when they look on television, they see bacon and eggs and all these fancy stuff what kill them daily. You know, and children feel, say, well, them see it on television. You know, it's good for them, but these are the things that are killing them, you know, slowly. and make them body immune to all these viruses, you know, and this food, acid food, this food you consume more of the food, they make your system acidic, and from your system acidic, it tend to attract viruses, attract bacteria, inflammation, you know what I mean, all over, and then you start get sick.
You see, I think one of the things that we don't understand the process and how we get sick. It's sad when you look at all these babies, these young children, extended stomachs, and just like you said, at mornings you go to you say children are going to school with Sunquick, and you ask them what they had, high C, Capri Sun. That's breakfast for them. They're eating bread and something. Yeah. And that is breakfast. No porridge anymore, no oatmeal, no cream of wheat. Mm-hmm. And those are the things that we grew up on. Yeah. We grew up on at mornings before you go to school. You had to make sure that you had a bowl of cereal, whatever, not cornflakes, porridge. And that porridge, we used to use the raw cow milk, not the pasteurized one. That was straight from the cow's breast. That is what you used to use. You get that? I used to hate it. Now I wish I can have it. I wish my mother can cook it again, and so that I can have it for breakfast every morning. But in those days, we were having issues with it. But we were healthy. We were not driving to school. We were walking in the hot sun. So we got a full dose of vitamin D. And then you ask yourself, that's why we were not getting sick. Yeah. And before you go to school, you had to make sure you take out the sheep, you water them, you come back, you had to do the same thing. At afternoons, you run up and down the pasture. It was playtime, not sitting down behind the television, iVision, I like you, or the iPad or the computer. Those were not in our days. And notwithstanding the fact that these things that we are looking at and what we get our children to hold on to, because we are lazy parents. Yes. We are too tired because our bodies are sick. Mm-hmm. It's very acidic. We don't have the ability or the energy to run around with the children. So you give them an iPad, they have an iPhone, everything is an eye. You understand? And they sit there and they just become confused. Yeah. Body toxic. Children are crying for headache. I don't ever remember having a headache until I was big. Yeah. Didn't know what a headache was. Sure. But now children, small, my grandchild's 4 years, and she said, Grandma, I have a headache. Headache was not something that children would have. Oh. But now your children are getting every sickness. As a matter of fact, they're the ones who are getting it first. And then when they bring it home, because that's the school, you have the situation right now with all of those viruses. You had the COVID-19, the children were affected. Once ago, their immune system was so strong, they're not going to get anything. Mm-hmm. They used to say, oh man, they're immune to those kind of things because their system was so strong. But now, what is the problem? Where are we going wrong? What can we do?
Change our food habits. We need to go back to Mama Nature. From off the breast to the earth. Instead, from off the breast at the lab.
Yes.
We have to go back more to plant-based. You can change your diet, go more on eating natural, organic, clean food. That is the beginning. Self-love. It starts with self-love, And the children is our future. If our children is sick, where our future is going, we don't need a sick generation, because sickness only lead to death and destruction. A life, we say. So we have to eat more live food, more food with enzyme, more fruits and vegetables. Let us go back to nature, Feeding children with bread and like cheese first thing at morning, that's inflammation. That's a lot of starch you put in your children's body, along with a cup of cow milk,
And
that's
Milo.
More mucus.
And Milo.
And then you wonder
sugar.
Why, and sugar, Then we wonder why our children getting cold, What happened to the cup of bush tea instead of the milk tea, A lot of children born with asthma, And then if you, as a pregnant woman, consume a lot of dairy milk products, it's likely that your child can be born with asthma. Because asthma, it block up the bronchial tube, with mucus. you know. So we need to be aware of what we put in our mouth, you know, because what we put in our mouth gonna end up come back to haunt us, especially if it's some bad food, you know. So we need to think about our future generation and look at it and say where it going. Food affects the mind. If you have a toxic body, you're gonna have a toxic mind. Sometimes people wonder, why the youth them behave so? Why the youth them think so? But change the diet, you know. They did many research upon children, even prison, people in prison, you know, and I wonder why they think so evil, you know. What they do and change some of them diet, and after changing the diet, they come to confirmation and realize, say, well, what start feel some remorse about the things that they did. So food itself, feed your mind and can bring positive energy because it's living enzyme. And the foods is one, you know. You have a living enzyme, the food take from the soil and then to nurture our body. But when we break down our body and our body become filled with free radical, you know, it make us tired, make us exhausted, it make us even not thinking straight, you know. So going back to our banana porridge and porridge in the morning for the youth, you can use coconut milk, you can use hemp milk, you know. All these are things that you can find in the supermarket.
But the only bad thing about going into the supermarket, though, because coconut milk is so easy to extract. But the bad thing about going into the supermarket, because when you look into a lot of those box food, you have to have preservatives. You can't have something that is live sitting on a shelf unless it's preserved there for a period of time. They use it carrageenan. Carrageenan is a form of, they use those. Yeah. They have the guar gum. Mm-hmm. Those are cancer-forming agent because the carrageenan is supposed to be, they want to give you the impression it is CMOS, but it's not. No, it's a form, it's what they have done to it. So when you take food from the shelf, I do that, but we know that it's poison, but we do it still because sometimes you're sitting there and you're eating and you're like, my gosh, if somebody had told me they put cyanide in here, I wasn't going to eat it. But then I know for a fact that the food that I'm eating is poisonous. But we still eat the food. Diseases are deficiencies. Your body's become diseased because it's deficient. It's deficient of the nutrients that would help your body to function. If you don't have the energy that you need, if your iron level support is not adequate, if your iron intake is not adequate, if your B vitamins, they're not adequate, these can pose some serious problem because you won't have the iron. If you don't have enough magnesium in your body, which takes over 300 and something activities, functions, you would have issues. So if your body is deficient in these things, then you're definitely going to get sick. Why do we have to go to supplements? Why do we have supplements have a thing they call magnesium stearate, which is cancer forming? Yeah. They tell you the third leading cause of death in the world, it's from pharmaceutical drugs. Yes. These drugs are, and we take them religiously. We go to a doctor because we're sick. We come from back with one thing. We come back, we start taking the medication. And I can say this because I've proven that. You start taking the medication that is prescribed and you got sicker. Yes. Because you have other things that are fading. Now you have renal problems, you have liver problem, because people fail to realize that your liver and your kidney are the excretory organs. They're the ones, everything has to go through there. Yeah. Even the cream, because everybody wants to smell good. Yeah. And you cream up your skin and you use all of these deodorants, they're toxic. Yeah. Because your body, your kidney absorb them because it has to excrete them. You remember your skin is an organ. And so therefore, when you put whatever you put on your hand, would wind up inside of your system. Yeah. So we have to be very careful on the things that we do. Going back to the fact that we have to reach to the doctor to take medication. Medication is synthetic. Yes. It's not, your body is not accustomed to it. Go to the grass. Go to the greens. Go to the herbs. Because just like you said initially, the DNA of the plant is just like that of the human. Humans were designed to eat live foods.
Yes. For instance, we look at the animal. The animal eat the grass and all herb bearing food. But we tend now to want eat the animal
To get the
and
gra-
then ask, so where may I go get the protein from? Where may I go get this from? We look at the animal. Where did ask the question? Where did the animal
Get
get the
protein
nutrient
from?
You know, they eat the grass and all herb bearing food. And look at the cow. You know, look at them. Them so big and strong. You know. So we have to, we as a nation, we stray too much from ourselves. We become something that we are not. That's why we're getting sick. We consume food that we ain't supposed to eat. If you look at our teeth structures, we never created a den to eat flesh because we don't have the teeth structure for that. We don't have the digestive system for that, you know.
I suppose that's why we use digestive enzymes, and then that's why we cook it.
Yes.
So you don't have to tear it. People, us humans,
And
we
we
find an
chew.
excuse. Us humans, we find an excuse for everything
Everything.
that we do wrong.
Yeah.
And that is one of the biggest issues. And one of the things that I realized, information is key. We can blame our young people, but they don't know. They come from a background, they were raised in homes by people who didn't know, because this information is watering down because it's not carried on. It's not being taught in schools. I remember when we used to go to school, we had a morning nutrition new where you teach what you should eat, you ask what you had for breakfast. You had the nurses used to go around and make sure, especially when children are in the home, that they're getting the foods that they're supposed to get. You were given cereals and stuff at the clinic, so that you bring up your children on this porridge thing. This thing is a thing of the past. You realize now that we had a program coming on TV, Nutrition and You. We used to get information about what to do, what foods to cook, and how to. That is no longer there. We are too exposed more to the American style of living. The pancakes, the bacon, the sausages, the milk tea. That is an American style. Their people are different to us. They come from a very different ethnic group than what we came from. We are Africans, that we boast that we have that. It doesn't matter how far away you go, you still have that feeling of doing that. You gravitate towards these things. So it is not just where you're from, where were you born. It's something that is inculcated in your DNA.
Yeah.
And so it's within you. So you gravitate towards that. Your parents, they were not from Africa, but they know our lifestyle are basically like them. When you look at the Africans cook, it's a lot of bush that they make all kind of okra soup, and this is the way the cassava is one of their staple food. They make it and they use that and they eat different to the way we eat in the Caribbean, because we have adapted more to the European style of eating and the American style of eating, because that's what we see on TV. And we are lazy people. We've become very lazy. So we don't once ago you used to take your children out. After time you look forward to it, you're going to take them for a walk. But no, people are now walking dogs and not children.
Not children, yeah.
And that is one of the sad things. So we've come and we start blaming and wondering why and how did we get here? We got here because of neglect, lack of information. We talk about the foods that we eat. You walk around, you can't go in a place and find anybody who's going to cook the ITEL food. It's only one or two people when he can't afford to satisfy the number of people. And these ITEL food are not real ITEL food. You go in and do macaroni and cheese.
Nah, man.
Then you ask, I mean, what kind of ITEL food is this? Because, you're not getting, when I go to an area to eat ITEL food, not even the chunks, I don't want those things. For me, those things having a lot of phytoestrogens and that affect women, give them breast cancer. It's dangerous. But you see, people bring it as an alternative to meat. You don't eat meat, you don't need an alternative. You eat, you don't want the meat. Why you want something to taste like meat? If you want something to taste like meat, eat the real meat. But you bring in things that are filled with soy, and that is going to pose a lot of problems.
Yeah, hormonal problems.
A lot of hormonal problems. So then we have to be very careful. And so I hope you can cook.
Of course. I'm a chef.
Good.
Soon we'll be soon to open a place in St. Paul's. I sell some quinoa and some.
That's so far.
Some mushroom, real food,
I
chickpeas, I do chickpeas. Make cheese with chickpeas, alternative, chickpeas, bake with chickpeas. The water from the chickpea used as a replacement for egg to bake cake, and you can use sea moss also. You know.
You see, these are the things that I think I'm going to have you on my program, and you're going to bring some a little more often, where we can give out recipes. You think, or let people come in and buy your food? So people, because one of the things,
them need the taste.
Yeah, they need the taste. I think I'm gonna have to bring you in and let's work on something so where people can come and start advertising early. So you can come into town and you can cook some food, and down Lime Keel people can come and start to, and we can start looking at those things, because that is one of the things. I mean, there's a lady who did some walnut cheese.
Yes, I make cheese from walnut, and they have a next nut. Not hazelnuts, the next one.
Brazil nuts?
Brazil
Yeah.
nuts, cheese, yeah.
These are the kind of things. I mean, people don't know, and the amount of things that you can do from the coconut.
Yeah, and you can cook walnuts with mushroom. You can do the burgers with walnut.
Yeah, the veggie burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these are the kind of things that one can do, but people don't do.
Yeah.
And so we are stuck, because we don't have anybody. Everybody's looking for the money and not for the nutrients. We're eating food because for taste.
Yeah. And what I realize, everybody love things quick.
Yeah.
You know, they go to the drugstore, quick fix. Them now want to go to the herb because herb will
Take
not
too
give
long.
a quick fix. You know, but them have to realize everything take time. You know, it take time.
It took time to get that sick, so it's going to take time to get to heal.
To be healed. You know,
I can tell you about the herbs. Let me tell you, I've seen. I do a lot of things herbal. I mean, I always tell people my problem, it's me. That is what my problem is. But when it comes around drugs, my body is drug free. Sure. I don't nothing, and anything that says drug, I don't do. It has to be natural. The only thing that is unnatural for me that goes in is the food, because you eat the rice, something you get into eating the quinoa, and which is quite good if it's done properly. I love cooking quinoa. I love quinoa, but after a while, because it's so habitual to eat bad food that you start good, and later on you get a taste of it again, and it becomes an addiction. Oh, food! it's just one of those things. But it's the fact that I can tell you what I've seen that herbs in itself has done. Herbs can fix everything
and anything.
Anything. It takes patience and a positive mindset.
Yes.
Because fixing something is not just from, I come and I'm going to give you, it's from a holistic standpoint.
True.
Where your mind has to fix.
Yeah.
You have to understand that what you're using is going to work. When you start to doubt, and people don't understand that either, that healing is not something that just happened. It comes from deep within.
Yeah.
It's a soul thing. That's how far it goes. It's creating within your soul that positive, knowing environment that it is going to work, and it's going to work. Trust me.
What people don't understand, if you have an ailment and you drink some herbs and you're not thinking of getting healed.
You're drinking in vain.
You know, you're drinking it in vain, you know, because everything starts from within. As I said, it's a healing. Herbs is not a treatment like them synthetic drugs. You know, it's a healing, and healing begins within. Mm-hmm. What the herb does, it helps the body or your body to get rid of free radical and inflammation from it. You know, and then your body start heal itself. You know, the herbs is the starter,
the catalyst,
the ignition, you know, and then your immune system is what does the healing. But if your immune system is inflamed or very acidic, then it would be hard on you to be healed. If you continue consuming acidic food, you're defeating your purpose of the herbs.
Exactly.
You know, some people that maybe eat a certain and drink maybe a cup of tea or take something and feel say it's a quick fix. No. And you go back and eat the same food that put you in the same position of getting sick. You know, as I say, it's a mind thing, it's an internal thing. You know, you have to have self-will and self-determination and willing to get healed, connect with what you're eating, Make sure what you're eating is, you and it is one. And we are one with everything natural. Anything synthetic, it's going to cause a problem,
It's like washing your white shirt in dirty water,
yes,
and expect it to come out white.
Yes.
And I know people who have cancer, and doctors are not saying it, but cancer is a deficiency.
Yes.
When your body is unable to fix itself, it creates those cells are starting to die off.
Yeah.
When they recognize that they're dying off, they grab on the good one to save themselves, and it poses that problem. But because they're deficient, but if you can create an environment where your cells are properly nourished, you won't have that problem. If you have cancer and you start to take things that are going to nourish your body, then those don't have to hold on to, because the food is coming in and you're going to get better. I know of people. I know of a girl. She had breast cancer, and the doctors told her that they would have to take the breast, and she said no. I said, but she said, Sandra, I am going to do this naturally. I said, let me tell you, this natural thing is a serious thing, because you're talking about getting rid of what is there and getting it back to where it's supposed to be. When you take off your breast, doctors are doing that so that it doesn't spread to any other organ. So I said, you have the mindset where you can change your lifestyle, because it's not just food that you eat. It's an environment that is created. You don't want to be a stressful environment. No. You have to make sure that you're a positive thinker. Your body has to be in the right form or to do healing, because your body heals itself. It was designed for that. When God created Adam and Eve, there was no doctor. So that, definitely put them in the garden and tell them, eat as much as you want. That is the story Christians read. And if that is the fact, if it is a fact to you, then you know that the foods are the ones that are going to make the difference. But the environment has to be conducive. Because after Adam and Eve, according to the Bible story, after they would have disobeyed and sin, which is toxins, became, the air became, your man became toxic, they had to go out of the garden, because they themselves would make the garden toxic. Yeah. And so you see from the beginning where you had the process of elimination. For you who wants to use natural medicine, it's a total change, because like you said earlier, if you're sick and you continue eating what make you sick, you're going to get sicker. So you're just putting on a Band-Aid by you drinking some bush tea. It's not going to help you. It's not enough, because that 1 cup of bush tea, your body's already toxic. It's very acidic. You have to put your body in an alkaline state where it can start to fight. On its own. And we don't have, because of the fact that we're not eating right, we listen to toxic music, we use detergent, which is toxic, we use deodorant, which is toxic, we use hair products that are toxic, the pots that we cook in, they're toxic, the gas that you use, it's toxic, and your body is basically ingesting all of that. You know what kind of fight your body have on a daily basis trying to get rid of all of these toxins? And then we don't give them the right things to fight. So you send a man into a group of people in battle, and you didn't give them any gun, no weaponry to fight, and you expect them to come back?
It's a losing battle.
It's a losing battle. And it's the same thing that we're doing with our bodies. Yeah. We are eating the wrong things. The clothes that the things that we, the detergent that we wash our clothes, they're recalling them. Yeah. Because they're saying that they have this chemical in there that is carcinogenic, that is causing cancer. Sure. And the fact that they're recalling one, it means that all of them posing a problem. I saw a lady did this thing. I didn't know that you can make detergent from the orange peel, the water from the orange peel, and baking soda. I saw this lady do it. It's all natural. But these are things that we can do. But no, we feel like, because we're throwing away things, it's a recycling process. Right. Everything can be recycled to do something else. I saw banana skins that you throw away. I saw this guy made them into this, I don't know what it was, but food. It was
like how you do a mix up and fry it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a burger.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could not believe, and I'm saying we are throwing, and just like you said, all of the nutrients that are inside of the skin.
Yes.
We give the hog food, they hog the food, and we eat the poison.
For instance, someone will say, yo, we need some iron. They're going to boil some green banana. They're gonna peel the banana, show away the skin, which is
iron.
green, which is having the more
Iron.
and boil what is inside, you know? Yeah, the way how we cook, we need more knowledge of how we cook, because we come from slavery. Our generation come from slavery with a slave diet, and we've been given a certain food to keep it ignorant and not strong, keep us weak. And we come from slavery with the same diet, so we need to come away from that, you know what I mean, and to find back ourselves, because everything have been taken away from we, you know. They take away our diet, they take away identity, you know what I mean, everything, they strip from me, they strip of naked of everything. So now this is time to be awakened, self-awake, you know, look back to Mother, you know, look back to Mother Earth, you know, as our Savior, as I said before, from the breast back to the earth, you know, more plant-based, eat more fruits and vegetables, you know, and then we're going to have a more healthier, you know, society, you know, support the local organic farmers, you know, support the farmers them, instead of look towards things that in the supermarket. You know, let us come back to ourselves.
That's a message to the government. I mean, I find one of the things that we have to always make sure that we do preserve our foods. We're looking at the shelf right now and we recognize, because of the wars and all of these natural disasters, more sooner than later, we would not be able to import the poison that we import. And that is becoming a big issue. We have to start focusing on, we talk about the food security, but we're not serious about food security. True. We know that there's so many things that can, you have the banana that can make the porridge, the plantain that can make the porridge, and we have the sea moss that can make porridge. We have the cassava that can do so much things. I mean, when I grew up, cassava was the thing, cassava bread. You had you mashed the cassava, you boiled the cassava. You could have done so many, you use the starch from the cassava to starch your clothes. We could have done so much things with the cassava. We have lost sight, and we don't have the knowledge anymore. The people who used to do it, when our parents or old parents become at a certain age, instead of us learning from them, we put them in a home. We don't take time to see the things that they do. Sure. We just wheel them off in a home, and that information is gone. We are losing our history. We are losing our way of living. We are losing that. We are holding on to things that are posing lots of problems. Everybody is suffering from cancer right now. People are dying like it's a norm, it's a trend. Because we are in the environment that is created is very, very toxic. We need to sit down and start to refocus. We have to refocus, because that is posing some problem. We are looking for quick fix. We don't mind getting sick because there are things that is going to heal us. Why are we looking for things to heal us? Why are we not trying to prevent us from getting sick by starting to eat the things that we're supposed to eat? Sure. Sea moss has become a big thing. Sea moss, one time you could just go down, pick up some and just wash it, put some water, soak it, make porridge with it. Now it's so expensive because everybody now have an understanding of how good the sea moss is. But guess what? They go pick the sea moss and they start putting things inside of it that's not supposed to be there. Sure. Because you can have all kind of flavored sea moss right now. And these are the contaminated. And people think because it says sea moss means that it is healthy. People are making sea moss drink and they're putting in things that pose problems.
Sugar.
Yes. And these are the things that, these are the areas that we have problems with. I mean, we grew up where we used to eat sugar, but not that kind of sugar anymore. That white processed sugar is not good. It has agents in there that are very, very cancerous. It feeds cancer. And people now no longer want brown sugar. It's too dirty. That's what we lived on. That's what we grew up on. And it's frightening though, Ras Luthan. It's another thing that we I must say, and I want people to know, is that you do herbal medicine.
Yes, I do colon cleanse, which is a laxative to help ones who are constipated, and also looking at cleansing the colon, because the colon is a very important part of your body. Is your large intestine. For those people who have problem going off, and also good for worms. Yeah, that's the colon cleanse.
You have the golden touch.
And I have the golden touch. It is good for inflammation of the joints, inflammation of different part, remove mucus from your body, build an immune system, and also is a detox. And also good for breast cancer, fight against breast cancer. It's also good for the radiation, poor circulation of blood, diabetes, blood pressure, stabilize that. And if you have problem with your menstrual cycle, maybe not getting a period or irregular period, that can help, along with the womb cleanser, which is a cleanser for the womb, strengthen your reproductive system. If you have fibroids or cysts, it helps shrink it, and then you're part of your urinary tract. Also cleanse the blood also, and fight against ovarian cancer and any form of cancer within the body.
And those women who suffers from polycystic ovarian syndrome, that is one of the big things now. A lot of young people have it. It was not a disease, but it's a problem that has been overlooked for a very long time. That can cause a lot of problems later on. The womb cleanser can do that.
And if you're suffering from not enough ladies have a lot of menstrual clots and
pain.
It will help remove all of those clots that cause pain. You have a cell life tonic, also build your blood, and it's also used good for someone who's suffering from cancer. What he does, he cleanse the blood and then build the blood and add iron to the blood, so iron can flow.
You get the oxygen to go around the body.
And also strengthen your back for those suffering from back pain. You also strengthen reproductive system, increase sperm count. If you have unbalanced hormones, it will help build your hormones. If you have low sperm count, it will help to build your sperm count. I do asthma tonic for children who have a lot of mucus and have asthma problem. I do cannabis oils, which are good for cancer, and somebody who have problems sleeping or pain, also good for pain and fight against cancer also.
Charcoal for any activated charcoal.
Activated charcoal.
For anybody who has poison, food poisoning.
Toxin in the blood, overtaxing blood. Charcoal is very good, it's also a good detox. I do, what else?
The oils,
products, natural herbs. I do sell natural herbs, that are just in the natural state.
And if you want a lesson in how to use them, you can contact him and he can help you, because a lot of times people can misuse herbs and abuse them.
And you have to know when to pick
exactly. So those are the things that you have to know. It's not just get up and start doing things. And this was just an introduction, Luther, and we're gonna is a program that I want to continue because we recognize there's a need for it, and we can see how people can access you, and people can use your service, and we can see how fast. How we can build a healthy nation. It's a wealthy nation. The wealth of the nation depends on healthy people. Exactly. It depends on the health of the nation. And these are areas that we have to look into. So if you want to give them your telephone number, so those of you who are interested and those of you who are sick and feel like the natural herbs like I said, you have to be guided on how to use it because some people can abuse it. Some people can use it the wrong time because herbs have energies.
Most
You have
natural.
those herbs that are adaptogen would go
Yes.
into your system, look and see what the problem is and make the changes in there.
Changes,
So you
yeah.
can use that with certain kind of herbs. You have those herbs that are thermogenic, they carry the heat in the body, create that kind of energy. And so you can't mix herbs a certain kind of way. So that's what you need, somebody who have a good understanding of how to mix the mixture, because there are people who say, but I use herb, but you're using it the wrong way. And that can pose some problems. So you can give them your telephone number and let them know where to
my
contact.
number is 661-8393. 661-8393.
So it's 661-8393. He lives in St. Paul's, and I can tell you, I've used some of his products, and they're very good. Like I said, it's not a 1 day, a one-time fix. As a matter of fact, you take 21 days to reset the body. So
Natural.
at the least that you can stay on these products is 21 days if you really want to see something, because we take a long time to get our bodies in the state that it is in, and we want to get a quick fix and to see if we can get our body back to healing one time. Healing takes time because it's healing.
You know, this morning, right, just before forward here, I passed by a elder lady, a family of mine, and she was telling me that yesterday she wake up and she did feel sick. She 88 years, 88.
Wow.
And if you see how she plant, she believe in a lot of plant, herbs, natural herbs, you know. She tell me she feels sick and she was like, she getting like, she pressure gone up. She feels that she pressure gone up, so she gets scared. So she says she walk on the road and she pick up some shadow benny, what we call cat claw, you know what I mean, and some other herbs, and she boil them up, draw them, and then she drink it, you know. When doctor feel better, doctor run some tests and no find nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. She says she's so happy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So she did telling me and with a lot of joy and say, yo, what's the man? Use the herbs now. Me don't take no doctor tablet, all herbs me.
Wow.
Yeah. She give me a bow, a daps.
Mm-hmm.
And you could feel the power in she hands. She's strong. 88 and she's still a plant up.
Wow.
Yeah, she blessed me with a big papaya this morning.
Wow.
She said, Rasta man, when me done drink my tea, it's piece of papaya me eat.
Lutan, we have a lot of work to do. We need to get that information out. And for those of you who are interested, like you said, his number is
661-8393.
So it's 661-8393. We're out of time, unfortunately.
Yes.
And the sad thing about it, after I don't talk about herbs and herbal medicine, I'm going to advertise Trent on 4th Street, who does chicken and chips. for those of the people who want chicken and chips and good burger, go and check them times on 4th Street. People have their choices.
Of course.
You choose to eat what you want to eat. And there's sometimes bad food is happy food, because sometimes people say, oh, I'm so depressed. Happy food, you eat chocolate, you eat ice cream. But them times on 4th Street, good music, environment is good. The owner is a good person to talk to. It's positive vibes. Same with food that can make you happy. Hope that it will make you happy for a long time. Don't make it a habit though, because you have to get the natural, the good things after you would have enjoyed food from them times. My name is Sandra Kuliatis, and it was a pleasure being here. I'm looking forward to next Friday. I'm gonna talk to Ja Luthan and see whether or not I can get him back on some of the programs, because I know that that's what people are going to ask for, because we need the help. People are crying out for the help, and we have it here and we have to utilize it. We have to understand medicine have its place. Conventional medicine have its place, because sometimes you need that quick fix. Your body need that quick fix so that it can work, take the time for the herbs to work. So sometimes it has its place. When you would have created an environment of disease, I suppose you have to make the choice of what you would want to do. So I'll make sure that I have you on programs, and we can see how we can teach the nation, because lack of information is what poses the problem. For the lack of knowledge, man would perish, and that is one of the issues.
Yes.
So it's Friday. It's a beautiful day here in St. Kitts. It's the day when oh my gosh, I can't believe it's Friday again, but it's a weekend again, and you can go out and you can lay your hair down, you can distress, and have a great time, and hope that Monday morning you will reset and start to refocus and create a positive environment. My name is Sandra Quiliatis, and I'm taking my leave. Stay tuned to WINN FM 98.9. Voices is up next.